One of the things parents really want to accomplish with their trust is to make sure their children do not squander away their money, lose it in a divorce, or get attacked by creditors. Parents essentially worry that they'll leave their money behind to their children, who will end up either commingling it with a spouse and losing it in a divorce or losing it in a lawsuit. Let's take an example. Imagine that Brian and Emily have two children, Richard and Susan. Brian and Emily have a $2 million estate, and when they pass away, they're going to leave each of their children $1 million. Susan gets married to Michael and takes her $1 million inheritance and puts it into a joint bank account with Michael. Michael ends up not being much of a hard worker and doesn't do much to support the family. 5 years later, they get a divorce, and Michael is entitled to half of the $1 million inheritance that Susan had. Now, Richard isn't married, but he is accident prone. He lives in an apartment complex, and one night he forgets the water running in his bathtub and goes out for the night. The water ends up flooding the downstairs neighbor's apartment, and the downstairs neighbor sues Richard. Richard ends up losing his $1 million inheritance fighting the lawsuit. How can we ensure that Richard and Susan's inheritance isn't lost in bankruptcy, lawsuits, or with divorce? The solution is a children's trust. Think of it as a tube of toothpaste. If you were to give the money outright, it's like squeezing the entire tube of toothpaste out on the counter. Once it's out, it's impossible to get back in. With a children's trust, each child will get their own tube of toothpaste. The tube of toothpaste contains their inheritance, and the child can squeeze out what money they need at what time. You can choose a trustee to manage this, or your adult children can be their own trustee. A children's trust will give your children access to their inheritance while still protecting it.